Well, hello everybody. This is Stephen West. I am the superintendent of Winona Area Public Schools, and I want to welcome you to our show, Making the Grade. All right, so I'm wearing this sombrero. Today is the showing here is Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. Is the showing, taping of the show, and actually it's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I turned 50 today, and it happens to be on Cinco. So I was given this hat, the sombrero, so I thought I would wear it for you, Jan.
Well, thank you.
So to my left is someone I've gotten to know since I've been in Winona. Her name is Jan Holtet, and she is the Winona Area Public Schools Educational Assistant. We call you the president,
Yes.
the president of the group, and she is a wonderful woman. And so I really wanted to find some time. We just met a couple days ago and talked on some things. And so today we're just going to chit chat, you and I just want to welcome you to the show. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Okay, so I don't think people really know what an educational assistant is or what that person does, but it's, as I've said, educational assistant is really paramount to the classroom with teachers. We always talk about teachers,
Right.
but they need the support as well. So tell us a little bit about educational assistants.
Well, a lot of people in our district refer to us as paraprofessionals,
Yes.
and that was even more confusing.
Yes.
So in the last few years, we've changed our names to educational assistants,
Yeah.
and it's a little bit easier for people to understand what
Right.
an educational assistant does. Just exactly what the name says. We assist in the classroom, in the educational setting.
Yep.
We typically work around the special ed students or with them. And our jobs can vary a lot because we start as early as preschool.
Yes. Yeah.
And we can have them up until 21. The youngest student I've ever worked with was 18 months old.
Oh.
And 2 years ago, he graduated, and I was able to work with him again.
Oh.
So we can really have quite a large span in what we do.
And in Winona, obviously, in various districts, EAs or paras or whatever you want to call, we call you educational assistants here. There are different uses for an EA, but in
Right.
Winona, we use our EA specifically for special needs children, mainstream. What do we use
Right.
our EAs for?
Our EAs are used to typically serve a student that is on an IEP or individual education plan.
Right.
And we can work one-to-one in a resource room, or we will be out into the mainstream classroom working with several students at a time. My job is a little different than most people's because I work in the work experience program from the high school. So I do a lot of 1-to-1 or 1-to-3 students out in the community.
Yep.
Transporting them to their job sites, working with them at their job sites. So if you see the red van,
Which I see quite often.
yes, or the silver van with the big Winona Area Public School System logo on it, that's who we are. We're out working with the kids in the community.
I see you quite often going
Yes.
back and forth, dropping them off here and there, picking them up. So let's talk about you personally. How long have you been in the system as an EA?
I have been in the system for 29 years.
Wow.
So I've seen a lot of changes in 29 years.
Have you now? Have you seen
Oh,
a superintendent with a sombrero? Is
No,
this new?
not lately.
This is new.
This is
Okay.
very new.
Okay, so you talked about having your earliest child or earliest person about 18 months. That was one
Right.
of the youngest kids. Can you tell me how you've gone through all the systems? Have you gone through pre-K? Have you gone through elementary?
Yes, I have. The only school that I have not worked in, actually, I believe, is Rolling Stone.
Okay.
There was a time that I worked as a sub, so I was able to be into all the district schools. But I have, when I worked at Madison Elementary, of course, that was the elementary setting, and I was in kindergarten. I loved that. And then we had the deaf and hard of hearing program, and they also had a preschool attached to that for those students. So that's actually where I got to start working with a student that was 18 months old at the time. And that was a wonderful, wonderful experience. I loved the little kids. And then I took a year and went back to school and started college on my 40th birthday.
Is that right?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, I learned
yes.
something new here, Dad. Okay, we'll talk off the air about that. Okay.
And I decided that as much as I wanted to stay in education, I really felt like I wanted to stay as a educational assistant,
Yeah.
and I didn't want the paperwork and the headaches of a teacher.
I hear you. There's a lot that goes on. But
There is a lot.
There's a lot that
Yes.
goes on there. So you're the president of your group. How many EAs do we have in the system?
Currently, we have 120 EAs, and we have 6 that are retiring this year, and I believe 2 that are actually leaving to move on to get their teaching degree. So we always like to see that happen.
yes.
We have a lot of educational assistants that actually do have their teaching degree, but have chosen to stay in this part of it. And I think a lot of it, I know for myself personally, when I made the decision that I wanted to stay as EA, it was because I wanted to be more connected to the kids than actually our teachers are a lot of the time, because we're with them one-to-one.
Yep.
And when you're with the same student on a daily basis, one-to-one, you really get to know the student and see what their life is about, and you kind of bond. Well, you do. You just bond with them.
So that was going to be one of my questions. What attracts a person to becoming an EA with that one-to-one bonding that, especially in our school district,
Right.
really close-knit?
I know for a lot of our people, they weren't quite sure, but after you get started in it,
Yeah.
and you do make those connections, and you do see the difference that you can make, I think that's the biggest reason a lot of our people will stay on year after year after year, because you do bond with them. I mean, you know, so if you have a student that's in preschool, you probably have that same student for 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's hard to walk away. Like the students I have, I could have anywhere from 4 to 5 years, because our kids can stay until they're 21 in the work program. And so that's could be a 5-year connection that you have with that student. So it's hard sometimes to let them go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's the hardest part of the job of being an EA? What do you think?
The hardest part of the job for being an EA, I think, would be the schedule changes that happen, because it's hard for the kids to adjust to those schedule changes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they know about them for a couple of days in advance, or sometimes it might be the teacher's gone, so we have a sub, and they don't you know, maybe mesh with the sub, or it's not even that they don't mesh with the sub so much. It might just be that it's hard for them to have another person, you know. So I think that's the hardest part, is that part of it. It's just there's sudden changes for the kids.
Greatest part of the job?
The kids.
Give me 5 on that, sister. Give me 5 on that.
You know,
People don't know. It's true.
Yeah, it is.
It
you know?
is true.
I can't tell you how many times I've said to my husband over the past few years, I just want to take this one home. Can I just bring him home?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know I can't. And I guess that's why we try to give him the best that we can, why we have him for those few hours every day, and let him know that we're here for him, and that we continue to be there for him if they need us.
So you mentioned earlier about you've been around a long time.
Yes.
How many years?
29.
29. You've seen a lot of changes.
Right.
What changes have you seen over time?
Well, the amount of paperwork that goes with special ed is hard on everybody.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, I myself am not doing the paperwork, but I know the teachers have to do it for their kids, for their case managers. So that pulls a lot of their time away from what they need to be doing with the students. And I think that's one of the biggest changes I've seen. And also our population. I mean, when I started 29 years ago, I can honestly say I don't think we had one student of color. I think we were very predominantly a white school.
Yeah. A school district.
Yes, yes, district, exactly.
Community
yes.
too. Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the biggest changes that we've seen.
What's been that impact? I mean, as a EA, what have you seen? Good, bad, different?
Well, the good part of it, I think, is it brings diversity to our community. The hard part of it, I see our students of color struggle a lot. And that's the hardest part. I mean, I have a young man that calls me his school mama. And I'm proud of that, because we have connected. And I have to say that you're talking with the EAs, when you first started and telling us your story and how things are in the Black culture, that I'm a very white culture person. And that's just the way it is. I don't know how else to say it.
Speak your truth, Jan.
I know, I always have with you. And I just...
That's why I love her. She speaks her truth to it. Go ahead.
So I'm very naive,
Yeah.
you know.
You don't know what you don't know.
No,
Yeah.
I don't. And I'll say to the kids sometimes, no, please don't be offended.
Yeah.
But if I don't ask you, I'm not going to know. And I don't know how else to ask.
That's
but
right.
we have a trust with each other.
Yeah.
And you know, if you tell me things that nobody else needs to know, this is where they stay. So take that trust and know that I'm asking you because I care and because I want to know, make things better.
So we're getting down to it here. So at 29 years, you dropped the bombshell on me a couple of days ago, just out of the blue. We got 2 minutes left here. You're going to be retiring after next year. I'm kind of emotional about that. I've gotten to know you over the 2 years, and you truly walk the talk, and you mean what you say. And I'm kind of blown away that we're going to lose someone of that history, that reaching out to folks that don't look like you. And so I wanted to tell you and to tell the public that we're losing somebody of extraordinary character and ethics, and I wish you nothing but success.
Thank you.
Any major plans? You got another year with me, so
I got another year.
You got another year.
You're not out of here. We're not out of here yet. You're not off the hook yet.
I'm not off the hook yet.
No, you're not. So just remember that.
I know that.
Actually, we have decided, my husband has 2 children and 2 grandchildren that live in Gainesville, Florida. And we're looking at, after this year, heading down, after the school year's over, heading down to look at some property to buy for the winter, because my entire family is from here, and I have a son and a daughter, and I have a granddaughter and a grandson that are just too much to leave. I couldn't, and my mother is still living. She's 87. She's awesome. So I'll stay here. Yeah.
Well, I just tell you again, I'm just overwhelmed by the work that you do as the leader of the group. I am a big fan of the educational assistants. You mean the world to me. I know how important it is to the classroom, and I thank you and for your leadership with your team. I'm looking forward to seeing how we're going to transition that down the road. But you're an awesome woman, and thank you for representing our educational assistant in Winona just as well as you do. Well done.
Thank you.
That ends our first segment. The sombrero is hot in here, by the way, but maybe I should have brought a Diet Coke. But we'll be back in a moment for our second segment. Hang tight.
Hi, I'm Dan Picarino with HBC. Our goal has always been to offer the very best TV experience and value possible. Customers often ask, why do we have to pay for a bunch of channels we don't even watch? It's kind of like this. Imagine going into a convenience store and wanting to buy a bag of chips. But to get those chips, you're required to also purchase a candy bar, a slice of pizza, a sandwich, and a pack of gum. That's how one channel you want becomes 4, 5, or even more channels in your lineup. Today, there are 6 multi-billion-dollar corporations that control 90% of the existing networks and programming. We feel strongly that these corporations should not be allowed to double or triple their rates from year to year. There are times that HBC must challenge these media companies to keep their rates reasonable. We hope you will join us in this fight. Please visit tvonmyside.com/HBC to learn more. And thank you for choosing HBC.
Want the latest news on St. Mary's University athletics? Watch the Cardinals Nest on HBC TV 25. Dean Beckman and SMU Sports Information Director Donnie Netto will talk about the past week in Cardinal athletics, highlighting the best in each Cardinal sports team. Player and coach guests will add their stories and insight each week with new shows Thursdays at 5 p.m. and replays Fridays at 6:30 p.m. and Saturdays at 7:30 a.m. on HBC TV 25.
We chose HBC because they're a local company. They have a big audience in Winona, which is the geographic group that we're looking for. Mel is very easy to work with. She's genuinely concerned about how our money is being spent, and she does everything she can to make sure we get the most for our money. She takes care of us. So whenever there's a problem, which is rarely, I know that I can go to her and she's going to take care of it.
To see how HBC advertising can help your company, call Melanie at 507-474-5802.
Tune in for the Sports Buzz every Tuesday at 5:30 as a panel of local sports journalists tackle the hottest topics on everything from local high school and collegiate sports to regional discussion about the Twins, Brewers, Vikings, and Packers. With the Power Play Fantasy Football Challenge to the Rant of the Week and NFL Pick'em, the Sports Buzz is fast-paced and sure to entertain. That's new episodes of the Sports Buzz every Tuesday at 5:30 with replays only on HBC TV 25.
Integrate your business communications services with HBC. You'll be connected to the area's leader in internet and data solutions with speeds up to 1 gigabit, not to mention the most customizable and reliable telephone network in the area. Your customers and guests will enjoy crystal clear video and audio throughout your business. HBC Professional Solutions customers receive consulting and IT support, conferencing solutions, fast reliable cloud service, and more. Call 888-474-9995 to experience the HBC difference today.
Well, welcome back, everybody. This is Stephen West. Welcome back to Making It Great. Now I get my second segment. Oh, by the way, I'm superintendent of Winona Area Public Schools, and the sombrero represents its Cinco de Mayo at the taping today, and it's actually my 50th birthday today. So, I know. Thank you, everybody. I know. I flipped over now. I can't go back, but so I have a good group here, and. I get emotional about. I get emotional a lot on TV. I don't know what these people think of me, but this is an important group of folks here. So I'm going to introduce everybody, and then we're going to just talk a few questions and just kind of have a nice conversation. Don't be trying to hide from me over there.
All right.
All right. To my immediate left, Cindy Amberg, and you're the director. What would you call yourself for Miller Mentoring? I got Miller Mentoring Director.
Yes, technically that's my title, but.
Okay.
Titles I don't like.
Okay, over here I got Angel, and I'm gonna pronounce it right, Najera.
Yep.
Okay, and you are the student representative, but what did you call yourself before we went on the air?
Representative.
Okay, just the representative. Yeah. Karen Linn is over here, and you are the program specialist and mentor.
Correct.
Is that correct? So we're gonna talk about a little bit about all that. But I wanna start with you because the first time, you were the first person I actually met when I got the job as superintendent. I came over to Miller Mentoring because I had heard about this program. So talk to the people a little bit about the history of Miller Mentoring.
Wow, the history.
Well, we only got a few minutes.
Correct.
You like to talk.
I know I do, especially about Miller Mentoring. But originally started school year 2000, 2001.
Right.
A vision of Ben Miller's because he believed in education.
Yep.
Education provides opportunities. Yeah. So that was the mission. And since 2002, the Miller family has been supporting the program. We work
generously.
Very.
Yeah.
We work with students and we try to get them motivated at school, to appreciate that they can and that they should dream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing. Before I go over here to Angel, so what kids really make up the program? What type of kid?
I think typically it's the child that may fall through the cracks,
Yep.
that is not getting any extra support, or maybe is that a honor roll type student. But do we see students from, different backgrounds, ability? I think what we've all been amazed at, it's not about their ability. It's about a lot of other stuff that can get in the way.
Oh, well spoken. Well spoken. Yeah. Angel, let's talk to you a little bit. What's the program meant to you, and how long have you been in the program? Because I did see your brothers, and they collected some money for scholarships.
Yeah.
One's going to St. Mary's, correct? No. Okay.
One's going to Southeast Tech, and the other one's also going to St. Mary's.
It's to St. Mary's. And
Yep. He's thinking though.
One got what, $500 scholarship, and you just told me you're going for the big $1,000 thing. Okay. All right. So tell me what has the program meant to you? How long you been in the program?
A long time, I guess. I've been in it since 6th grade.
Okay.
And it's
so what grade are you now?
11.
Okay. So you've been in it quite a while. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Go on. Tell me.
It's meant like a safe place to be and a really good place to develop for me. Because when I first started, I was a shy person, but my mentor, he was outgoing and he was really a good person, and it just made me want to be more like him.
Wow. That's very, you see why I be crying, folks. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Cindy, one of the questions here is, I know in the program there's a big emphasis on the R-word relationships. Well, I'm going to ask Karen about this one. Can you talk about that and how building on relationships in the Miller Mentoring Program has been going overall?
Building the relationship is the most important part of it. We work on scholastics, but we work on the personal growth of the student as well. I actually started as a mentor, and I've been mentoring the same student since she was in 6th grade. She's now a freshman. Oh. And you know what? Sometimes it's just following them down the hall. Yeah. Sometimes it's talking about what they did at home over the weekend, and sometimes it's, how on earth am I ever going to do this speech? I'm petrified.
You're right.
So you don't know what they need from you that day, but the secret is just being there.
Oh, no significant learning will occur without a significant relationship.
That's right.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what. So Cindy, tell me about the program. Is it a district program? Who pays for this program? Because you guys, I mean, you got a middle school program, you got a high school program. How is that being compensated and funded?
Well, I think we're rather unique, if
Yes,
that's
you
a
are.
proper word or not, but we are a true collaboration of public and private working together. The public school district is a partner along with the Miller family.
The private sector. They work together. You know, the district provides certain things, like transportation, having it in district buildings, just support that way. And then the Millers allow us stability.
Yes, they do.
With their financial support. I can't stress enough that it allows us, I guess, to be creative.
Yeah.
It allows us to look to the future. If we really had to constantly worry about next year, the program would not be the same program anyway.
You're
so
right.
it's a great partnership.
Excellent, excellent. Karen, talk to me a little bit about, are you at the high school?
I'm at the high school.
So tell me how that high school experience, what do you see up there as a mentor? Because you've been doing this now, how many years?
I have, this is my 4th year.
Okay.
And the middle school is different than the high school.
Okay.
The high school, our room is in the heart of the high school.
Yeah.
The kids can come in and out all day long.
Okay.
If they're on their way to a class and they forgot, I don't have a pencil, we've got pencils right there by the front door. We've got a folder.
Right.
I'm starving to death and I've missed lunch. We've got snacks in the refrigerator. So we support them all day, every day, from 8:15 until 5:30 for whatever they need.
Kids have changed a lot over time. I mean, even in your 4 years, even in your many years. I mean, what do you see as obstacles and barriers that you see as a mentor? What do you see?
Kids learn differently today.
Okay.
You know, we had to sit in a classroom in rows and be lectured to.
Yeah.
They don't understand that.
Right.
Their attention spans are shorter. Because they've got things to do. They can do 5 things at once.
Yeah.
So we need to feed them that way.
Yes.
Or we lose their attention.
Millennials are different, aren't they?
They're very different.
So Angel, you're heading to this summer, Hope Academy.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm applying.
So tell me about that. What is that about?
Well, it's about you go to college for 10 days and you get to live in a dorm and take college classes. So it's basically like a window into college.
Yeah. And who puts that on for you? Is that through Miller Mentoring? Is that through WSU?
WSU.
Yeah, if I recall, and we try to get as many kids to go through that process. You know, I actually, when I was your age, I went through Upward Bound. It was very similar to Upward Bound, where I actually stayed at McAllister College, and you know, I ate their food, which you could just eat tons of food, you know. I was like, are you kidding me? And I was like, I thought that was free, and you could just get as much soda as you wanted, and you went through classes, and you got an experience, because as a kid coming up in the inner city, I never had that experience of walking on a college campus and feeling it. So I've heard about Hope Academy because I believe, I'm trying to think, who's the director of it?
Alex Hines.
Thank you. It was Professor Hines over there, and he's kind of the leading group, and you have to interview for it, or
Well, I turned in an application.
you have to turn in an application and then they'll kind of pick and choose? All right.
I think it's first come, first serve. So.
Is that right? Were you one of the first?
Hopefully.
Yes, it was.
So, okay, so we talked a little bit about the high school. Tell me a little bit about the middle school group of kids. What are we trying to do differently there than at the high school, Cindy?
You know, originally, and our goal is always academics, but it's also social and emotional.
Yeah.
And middle school can be tough. Just the time that they're trying to figure themselves out, you know. So we're just there as for support. Yes, we know what work they need to be done. We try and keep them organized, clean out their lockers. We're just that extra piece. And because our parents come into Central to pick their children up, we also have a really good relationship with the parents.
Yeah.
And that's key.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're the first person they reach out to because, you know, Jimmy may not always have work to do or tell his parents what needs to be done. So, and a lot of friendships.
I only got a couple minutes left, and I'm going to talk to both of you ladies, and I'll come back to you in a second, Angel. I only got a couple minutes here, but there was a reason I came and met with you. One of the first people I met with at in the district was that program, because I value programs like that. We have too many kids falling through the cracks in our system, and we lose sight of those. They become the lost children, and we can't afford that in education. And so I want to thank both of you for all of your work that you've done for our kids. And I know it can be hectic, and I know you're not always smiling because I see you sometimes. So kids will drive you crazy, but we need to continue. And I thank the Millers for all of not just the financial support, but just their support of resources and everything else. So thank you very, very much, ladies, for your work. To you, Angel, I've watched you a little bit over my couple years here, and I've watched your brothers and whatnot, and you're a strong young man, and you're going to go places, and I look forward to watching you. I look forward to seeing how you show yourself as a person of color in our community and what you bring to the table, and you make me proud when I look at you, and your brothers do too. I sat there at the banquet there at the celebration and watched your brothers there and your family in the crowd, and it was a big deal for us and big deal for me as a person of color to watch young men of color do a great job. So well done, and keep up the good work. I really mean that. I do be watching, so I want you to know. The Miller Mentoring Program, if you've never been able to get over there, feel free to give these ladies a call. Get over there to the high school, get over to Central, get a tour, see what it's like. We got great college kids who are helping out. It's absolutely amazing. The phone number is up there on the screen. Give them a call. They are making a difference. We need more mentors.
Yes.
Some of our kids are graduating from college, and we want to continue that pipeline. So if you feel like this is something you want to do with a young student like Angel, please give us a call for that. Job well done, everybody. It's a real treat to have the program in our school district, and we're going to continue to try to make it stronger. We really are. With that, on my 50th birthday, Cinco de Mayo, with the hat and everything, with Miller Mentoring, which is a program near and dear to me, I sign off and say thanks for watching and Making It Great, and we'll see you on the next time, okay?